India's real estate sector, contributing 7.3% to the nation's GDP, is on the brink of a historic transformation, projected to grow into a $5.8 trillion powerhouse by 2047. What's driving this unprecedented surge, and where is the sector headed next? To decode the numbers, trends and challenges and opportunities shaping its future, we are joined by a very special guest, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. So without taking much of your time, I want to know what is your overall view on the current state of the real estate market. Where are we and where does it stand, and what do you foresee?
Well, the current state of the real estate market is fantastic because we've seen in 2024 a growth of almost 15% growth in the overall real estate market. And so there's a positive trend. Tier 1, Tier 2, peripheral areas of cities, all these have had a compounded annual growth. So there's a positive story over there. The commercial has also grown almost 8 to 10%, which is pretty good. Looking at the fact that the size of the market was good, it has further grown into there. Of course, the city focuses are still some of the prominent ones, which are like Mumbai, Bangalore, NCR, Pune, and the others which are taking place. So overall, positive growth of the real estate market with one hiccup. The one hiccup is the affordable housing segment. In my 40 plus years of career, this is the first time in my whole life that I've seen the numbers of affordable housing fall in terms of the numbers which are sold. So I think that's a bit of a setback, which I think the government will have to address in the budget and otherwise.
Okay, sir. So if we compare globally in terms of growth and development with regions like US, China or Dubai for that matter, what do you see? How far are we, sir?
So if you look at China, for instance, there's been a negative growth and it will continue to be negative because they have huge amount of surplus unsold stocks in millions. So I think there's a long way to go for as far as the China market is concerned. The real estate market in residential in America is still growing. I don't know the percentage, but it is growing. The commercial market has had a setback. And there is a post-COVID, we have seen the work from home has really increased. And so we see a setback in the commercial market in the US. But otherwise, I would say India is the fastest growing nation in the world, both in terms of overall GDP and also in terms of real estate. I think it is the fastest too.
So what are your projections for the growth of the property market in the next 5 years and 10 years, if you can quantify?
Well, you just have to hear Prime Minister Modi to get your answers right. He's talking about a growth in terms of GDP, which should go beyond 7 to 8%. Real estate will grow 15% in the next 5 years, compounded annual growth. So you'll see that as a percentage of the overall GDP, when we reach today at $3 trillion, we are 7% of the GDP in terms of real estate. When we reach $5 trillion, we would be between 15 and 16%. So not only will we grow, but we will grow much faster. And overall housing and real estate is going to see a growth which is unprecedented in the next couple of years. And this is confirmed by Niti Aayog. It's not only Niranjan Hiranandani making a statement.
All right, sir. So it will be very interesting to know if you can tell us what are the hottest hubs of real estate in 2025. Are there any particular areas or regions you are more bullish on?
I think most of the metros are still very, very bullish. Mumbai metropolitan region is extremely bullish, especially because of the infrastructure of the metro. We are adding 300 kilometers of metro. We are adding a coastal road. We have just completed the Atal Bridge, 22-kilometer bridge. The new airport at Navi Mumbai will become operational by April of 2025. So all this put together, you're going to see huge growth in these peripheral areas like Navi Mumbai, Panvel, Karchat. All these areas are going to switch. Similarly, you're going to see peripheral areas of Delhi, Bangalore, and others also grow at a pace which is unprecedented. So I would think that the growth in the peripheral areas is going to be much stronger than what you have seen earlier, and especially because of the infrastructure which is also coming up simultaneously. So earlier used to happen that we didn't have adequate infrastructure, but now you do.
So as the union budget is also knocking on the door, what are your top 3 expectations this time from Finance Minister?
Well, dil mange more, but what can I tell you? The first and main thing is, of course, the focus on affordable housing. I think she needs to do something. Also, the figure of 45 lakhs of affordable housing cap is just not is a misnomer. They need to make it to 1 crore at least. Second, I think something needs to be done in terms of interest. The interest of RBI is not directly under her control, but she's working on it through the PMAY scheme. But she needs to do something in order to reduce interest rates on home loans, especially the long-term effect of all these things. And I think that is extremely important to do.
Right.
The interest deduction on home loans is still stuck at 2 lakhs of rupees since last 12 years. I think that with inflation needs to go up at least to 5 lakhs of rupees.
Okay.
And I think the issue in terms of structuring for the purposes of capital gains tax was done last year in order to see that those actors are put pari passu with the stock market. But having said that, I think we need to look at what the tax rates are to individuals also.
Right.
That's extremely important. You can't have tax rates at 37% plus and think that the market is okay, because then, your cash money in the economy is continuing to grow. 16 lakh crores during the time of demonetization and 35 lakh crores today. I mean, if you keep the tax rate high, I think you need to restructure the individual tax rates now.
Sir, last year's promise of building 3 crore houses under PMAY is massive. Do you think it will be more streamlined in the budget 2025? Because execution is still a question. It's still a concern.
Well, in affordable housing, there's always going to be a challenge. Getting land, getting approvals, these are state subjects, so that is a problem. But on the delivery of the money, for the purposes of this, the structure is very sound and honest and transparent and clear. So the the implementation will be easy because the earlier PMAY scheme, which went on for a longer period of time, will do it. So my view is, at least in the urban areas, there's no problem to get the thing done, and I think we'll do it. But I think there's going to be another surprise. The surprise will be elimination of slums in Mumbai. The state government is very strong on the subject. The central government is also looking at it strongly. And I think there will be a strong announcement of the government saying that they're going to invest into the slum redevelopment, similar to what has happened in Dharavi. The state government will probably take it up, and you will be surprised. The target is 5 to 7 years, eliminate all slums in Mumbai. So you're going to see a beautiful Mumbai in 5 to 7 years.
Sir, with the government's push on smart cities, how do you think Budget 2025 can accelerate the development in these areas, these segment of the decision?
See, what happens is, India is federal. You have to remember that we have a central government, we have a state government, and we have corporations at the local levels.
Right.
Now, the secret is to be able to patch all of them together. If you can get proper collaboration between the central government, state government, and local authorities, you can do miracles. And it's possible to do, and certainly the focus where on execution is the key. And you've said it before that, what is the position of execution? Now, we have shown your Atal Bridge, 22 kilometers, 22,000 crores of rupees, 5 years we completed it. Unbelievable earlier. I mean, we used to take a long period of time. Coastal Road getting executed, we had hiccups. Metro, we had a huge number of political hiccups also. Now getting executed next 2 years. 300 kilometers of metro will get executed in Mumbai in the next 2 years. So, wow, what a development which is taking place. So let's hope for the future. I'm sure we'll succeed. India's story is going to be the story of the world, and we are the center now.
Absolutely, sir. That's great. Sir, after listening to the very important budget expectations from you and, of course, the bullish picture of the booming property market, why not move to the Hiranandani story? Sir, you have definitely contributed to in shaping the skyline of the country. What is your story, sir? How did you make it, if you can tell me quickly?
Well, my life story is only 45 years long and started small. First generation real estate developer, started with very little, got into textiles and real estate, failed in both, then got into real estate completely. And then there was no end. But I took a lot of jumps. One of the jumps was to do townships.
Okay.
The second jump that I took was to say that the quality should be the best and there's no compromise. Did sustainability 35 years ago. We have the largest sewage recycling plant in Mumbai, 4 million liters per day. And we don't have one plant. We have two plants in two projects. So that went on. And hence, I think people found it, believed and trusted us. I think trust, quality, sustainability, and commitment is something we stand for. So I think hopefully, God willing, and your good wishes and everybody's wishes, and God will be with us. I think we hope to continue.
Sir, what about the key challenges that you faced in the initial phase of your journey? And what were the turning points and the key decisions that you're very proud of?
You'll be surprised. I had problems then. And I have problems now.
Inevitable.
So it's not,
yes.
You know, the ease of doing business even today is challenging. So when, irrespective of the government talking about the ease of doing business, you'll be surprised. Many times we just get locked up and people tell me, Mr. Hiranandani, how come you are stuck with all these approvals? And I say, yes, even Mr. Hiranandani can get stuck in approvals. Right. So that story is equally true. So I think the change is required where the ease of doing business needs to be improved definitely across the board. And there are surprising states where the ease of doing business is suddenly gone better. Like UP, for instance. My son put up the Yota data center in Greater Noida in UP. And surprisingly, the ease of doing business has just improved manifold. So you get surprise news from various parts of the country. And I think the federal structure is making a competitive element for different states to be competitive. We also worked in Gift City. We put another small data center there. And that also has gone at super speed. So things are improving, but not everywhere all the time. It depends on the local politicians. It depends on the local bureaucrats, how they actually function. Some surprise me by being bad. Some surprise me by being fantastically good and fast and speedy. So I think we should rate the developer politicians and bureaucrats as they rate the developers nowadays.
So in the word of wisdom, what would you like to advise to a young entrepreneur who wants to make really big in real estate in 2025, who wants to start in 2025?
Well, I think the opportunity is huge. And when the country is growing, real estate is growing, the opportunity is huge. Now, the point is that there are other opportunities also in different businesses. So why do you take real estate? So real estate is one great opportunity and is possible. In my day and time, banks never gave any money to private developers. Now they do. You can now do an IPO. You can do an InvIT. You can do a REIT. You can get an FDI. You can get investments. You can list in the stock market. So funds are available. So you need a strategic story by which you can put all these factors together and you can get a great team which can possibly work. Opportunities are huge. Right. And they didn't exist, they existed, but didn't exist at the scale and size that they do today. And, earlier money was the biggest constraint. Okay. Today, money is not the biggest constraint. So many other things are. So the challenges are many, and it's good because it's also becoming competitive. And so the best will rule. And over a period of time, the quality of the buildings and other delivery will keep on improving. And look, big industrialists are also getting into it. So whether it's the Tata Housing, whether it's the Godreges of the world over there, listed companies and other developers are also listing. I think a lot of changes are taking place in the real estate business, unheard of in the yesterday. So young people, go for it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Your words of wisdom definitely matters a lot to our viewers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
I don't
much.
know about wisdom, but I'm sharing my thoughts.